Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Jay, and this is the Grind to Five. Today, we're going to be talking about how to read a tape measure for beginners. It's real easy. I think the way that I lay it out for you, there's not going to. I mean, you're not going to be able to not understand it. This is real simple. It takes a little bit of math and very basic fractions. All right, don't turn it off just yet. I know nobody likes math, but it's very easy, and I think you're going to see once I go over this information with you.
Alright guys, so here's the tape measure. We'll just jump right into it. Let's focus on the numbers for now. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all going to be your inches. You got 12 inches in a foot, so there's your 1 foot mark. A lot of you guys already know that, but again, this is tape measures for beginners, so I want to make sure that I'm clear. So you've got 12 inches in a foot. There's 2 foot, and so on. Now, not every tape measure is going to mark it as a foot. Most of them are. These other marks that you see on the tape measure, the 16 and the 32 and so on, every 16 inches, you'll see that on a tape measure, on almost every tape measure. That's for the trades. A lot of walls, a lot of studs are 16 on center. So when we're doing our layout, instead of measuring every 16 inches, we can just pull our tape measure and mark our 16, mark another 16, and so on. So now we're going to dive into the inches, because I think that's what most people have a lot of questions on. It can seem intimidating, but I think after you see me break it down, you won't be intimidated anymore. Alright guys, so here it is. I got my tape measure out for you. For this video, we're going to be focused on the dashes between 2 and 3. That's going to represent 1 inch. As you can see, the end of the tape measure is blocking the 1 over there, so we're not going to use that. We're going to do between 2 and 3 here. For the first mark, obviously, we're going to be on that half mark. You can see that's halfway between the 2 and the 3. That's up here. Pretty self-explanatory. I think most of you guys probably already got that. But moving on to quarters, where it starts getting a little more confusing, and you can see, don't worry too much about this one. Don't let this one stress you out. But moving on to quarters here, between 2 and 3, we've got the half mark, and then we're going to split those into quarters. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. Same up here. I laid it out real easy for you. We got the 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. So that's what the quarter meaning that would be. So if you had 2 and a quarter, you're going to be right here at this mark. 2 and a quarter is going to be right there. All right, that's a quarter of the way between 2 and 3. Moving on to the eighth, right here, same thing. We're just breaking it down a little bit more. So that's 2 and a quarter. That's going to be 2 and an eighth. Right here, look at that. There's going to be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different quadrants. Same with the 16ths, but again, I wouldn't stress too much on the 16th marks, especially since you're just learning to read a tape measure. These are going to be used more in your precision trades, finish carpentry. If you're making high-end furniture, stuff like that, you're going to be getting more into the 16ths and even the 32nds. And for some real precision machinery, you can go further than that. But for what most people are going to need a tape measure for, you really just need your halves, quarters, and your eighths. I mean, when I'm doing rough framing, I'm not measuring to the 16th very often. I mean, very rarely am I needing to measure to the 16th. So keep that in mind. Don't let all the dashes on a tape measure stress you out. You really only need 8 of them. All right, you need your eighth, your quarter, another eighth, half, another eighth, 3/4, another eighth, and there's your full inch. All right, one last thing I want to go over here. So if somebody says that they need a board cut at 2 3/8, all right, you've got your eighth mark here, but you need 3 of them. So you got 2 1/8, 2 2/8, which would also be 2 1/4, and that's how most people are going to phrase it. And that's going to be your 2 3/8. So you've got 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, and so on. Now, same with quarters, all right? If someone says they need something cut at 2 3/4, you've got 1/4, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. So that's going to be your 2 3/4 mark. All right, it's going to be the same for 16ths, 30 seconds, which you're never going to use. You might, but for sake of this video, that's how you read a tape measure. That's how you know what 2 5/8 means, and that should get you started with using a tape measure. All right, so I know I kept the video short, but I did that on purpose. After all, this is a video. This is tape measures for beginners. This is just the basics of a tape measure. There's more marks on a tape measure. There's more features of a tape measure. But for people that are just wanting to learn how to read a tape measure, that's what it boils down to. I mean, it boils down to the halves, quarters, and eighths. Like I said, once you get into the precision stuff, you're using your 16ths, and some people even the 32nds up to 64ths. But again, that's for precision trades. I wouldn't worry too much about that in the beginning. Again, we're learning the basics on how to read a tape measure. So I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please like the video, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna keep trying to come out with videos a couple a week at least. Right now I'm on track for 1 a day. But again, if you like the video, hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks, guys.